Close your eyes for a second. I want you to picture the greatest warrior who ever lived, a legendary samurai. What do you hear inside your mind? Do you hear swords clashing, clang? Do you hear yelling, Yah? Do you see epic battles, spinning kicks, and enemies flying everywhere? Then the sounds suddenly stop. Silence. Open your eyes. What if I told you that the picture in your head is wrong? What if I told you that the greatest warriors aren't the ones who fight the most? The greatest warriors are the ones who win without ever fighting at all. Today, I'm going to tell you a true story. It's a secret legend from ancient Japan about a master named Tsukahara Bokuden. He taught the world that true power doesn't look like anger. True power looks like peace. And by the end of this story, you will have the secret weapon that Bokuden used to defeat his biggest enemy. Our story begins on a wide, slow-moving river in old Japan. A crowded ferry boat was carrying passengers across the water. On this boat, there were two very different types of energy. In the center of the boat stood a young, loud samurai. Let's call him the Brute. He was huge. He had big muscles, shining armor, and the longest, sharpest sword anyone had ever seen. And he wanted everyone to know it. He was loud. He pushed people out of his way. He bragged about how many duels he had won. He was like a walking thunderstorm. He had skill, yes, but he had zero self-control. His anger was his boss. But in the back corner of the boat sat an older man. He looked like a kind grandfather. He wore simple clothes. He didn't have a shiny sword. He just had a simple wooden staff resting on his knees. This was Tsukahara Bokuden. He was a legendary master, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. He was perfectly still. The noise didn't bother him. The pushing didn't bother him. He had achieved peak performance not by moving fast, but by being still inside. The Brute was like a pot of boiling water splashing everywhere. Bokuden was like a deep, calm lake. People who are loud and angry hate silence. Silence makes them nervous. The Brute noticed the old man sitting quietly. It bothered him. Why wasn't this old guy impressed by him? He stomped over to Bokuden, his shadow covering the old man. "Hey, old man, you carry a samurai sword, but you look like a sleepy farmer. What school of fighting are you from? What is your style?" Bokuden didn't open his eyes fully. He just smiled gently and said in a soft voice, "My style is the school of no sword." The Brute laughed so hard the boat rocked. "The school of no sword? That sounds like the style of a coward." The Brute drew his shiny sword just an inch out of its holder. The metal sang a threatening note. "If you have a style, prove it. I challenge you to a duel right here, right now. Let's see your no-sword style against my steel." The other passengers gasped. They huddled in the corners, terrified. They knew the old man was about to get hurt. This is the moment. Think about it. If someone got in your face and called you a coward, what would your brain want to do? It wants to fight back, right? Your heart beats fast, you get angry, you want to prove them wrong. That's called losing your self-control. If Bokuden drew his sword now, he would be just like the Brute. He would be reacting out of anger. Bokuden looked at the terrified families on the crowded boat. He knew if they fought here, innocent people would get hurt. Bokuden stood up slowly. He didn't look angry. He looked like a teacher about to give a lesson. I accept your challenge, but not here. It is too crowded. We might hurt these good people. He pointed a finger toward a tiny, empty, sandy island up ahead in the river. Let us have the boat drop us off on that island. We can fight there, just the two of us, no distractions. The brute grinned. He thought the old man was just trying to delay his defeat. Fine. Captain, head for that island. I'm going to teach this old fool a lesson. The boat got closer to the island. The brute couldn't wait. He was so excited to show off his power. He was letting his emotions run the show. As soon as the front of the boat touched the sand, the brute leaped off. He landed on the beach, drew his massive shiny sword, and yelled a battle cry. "Yah! Come down here, old man! Prepare yourself!" He stood on the sand, sword ready, looking back at the boat. Bokuden didn't jump. He moved with the slow, smooth confidence of a master. He calmly walked to the front of the boat. He didn't draw his sword. Instead, he picked up the long pole that the boat captain used to push off the shore. The brute yelled, "What are you doing? Get down here and fight!" Bokuden looked the angry young man right in the eye, and then Bokuden used the pole to firmly push against the sand. Whoosh! The boat slid heavily back into the deep water, drifting away from the island. The current caught the boat and began moving it down the river. The brute was stranded, alone on an empty island with his big, shiny, useless sword. He screamed in rage. He splashed in the water, but the boat was already too far away. Bokuden stood at the back of the boat, leaning on his simple wooden staff. He called back to the furious young man, "Do you see now? This is my style. This is victory without fighting." The brute had a better sword. He had bigger muscles. He had youth. But he lost the duel before it even started because he had zero willpower over his own emotions. He was easy to trick because his anger made him stupid. Bokuden won because he had stoicism. He didn't let the outside noise disturb his inside peace. He used his brain, not his blade. Listen to me. You are going to meet brutes in your life. Sometimes the brute is a bully at school. Sometimes the brute is a hard math test that makes you want to quit. Sometimes the brute is just your own frustration when things don't go your way. When you feel that anger rising, you have a choice. You can be like the brute, draw your sword, scream and lose control. Or you can be a master. You can take a deep breath. You can find the calm center inside yourself. True confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. True confidence is knowing you don't have to fight to win. Keep your sword in its sheath. Master your mind, and you will be undefeated.